Hi there, welcome to my gear review channel. In this video, I will share with you my first impressions of this new product line that's coming out of the very reputable knife company. Oh boy, this is a large box, and by the way, it's made to the best Microtech standards, but what it contains is the least expensive knife that I ever bought from Microtech. Before that, this spike was the cheapest, I don't know if it's a knife, tactical item that I bought from Microtech, and that was like 89 bucks. This knife here, I only paid 70 bucks for. MSRP may be a little higher, and now that the secret of its inexpensiveness has been revealed, it's clearly a kitchen knife. And please, tactical people, do not hastily punch out of this video. Give the blade a chance. Let's just check out the knife first, because it is a Tony Marfione's design. So, kitchen or not, there will be a mean streak to that blade. This is a 2025 development, and this new series is amply described by Microtech's own website, which you can find here. Take a look if you are interested. I am not going to repeat what's on the site. Thank you, Microtech, for not overdoing, not overthinking the packaging, and for providing the knife with just one item that I have absolutely no use for, which is synthetic silk handkerchief. Why would a paring knife need a handkerchief? Well, actually, I'll go ahead and use it for the first and the last time to wipe the lens just in case. Can't you see the immediate improvement? I'm just kidding. It's something I don't ever use, but thanks for providing it. Let's take a few seconds and enjoy the fact that there's plenty to admire on this Marfione's take on a modern kitchen blade. Starting with this handle, which kind of looks slim, but we'll try that out because it's pretty wide cross-section. The blade and the tang are crowned all the way around, meaning it has like a rounded off spines. The handle is milled G10 with nice pinch spots, great for precision carving. I'll show you in a second. Very modest etching, none of the billboarding that you see on their tactical knives. Looks like every possible detail was considered, except for one, which probably jumped at you just as it's jumped at me from the moment I opened the box. Write me a comment if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the blade is very flexible. I don't expect it to be super hard. Microtech does not usually go beyond 61.5, 62 HRC. And if you're not a knife enthusiast or steel connoisseur, I'll be talking about it later in the video when I am actually testing the hardness of this blade. And the steel composition and hardness considerations will be addressed during that segment. For now, let's continue reviewing the item. It came with this, cabinet sheath, I call it. It's not designed to be carried on a belt. Its dual purpose is to protect the blade from scratches when you throw it in the drawer and protect your fingers from cutting yourself when you extract it. The sheath is velvet-lined Kydex. Yes, such product exists, and I've seen it on other premium knives. And considering how sharp this blade is, it's an absolute must-have. And I will demonstrate the sharpness in a couple of minutes here. Blade toward the slit is not the correct way of inserting it. You have to put the edge toward the fold of the sheath. For the sake of all that's sacred to a knife enthusiast, please do not store these knives in the wooden block with slots. Use the sheath and store it in the drawer. I personally store kitchen knives on a magnetic base, a magnetic board. I will provide some links in the description of this video for you to check those out. Let's get into some measurements really quick and then look at the sharpness. Overall length from tip to hilt is 8.5 inches or 211 millimeters or so. Blade length is 90 millimeters, just under 3.5 inches. And thanks to the gentle curvature, the cutting edge length is equal to the blade length, even though you have a big finger churl there, right around 3.5 inches or 90 millimeters. For the first cutting test, I will grab a sheet of paper towel. This is basic inexpensive paper towel you find on the shelves of any supermarket. If you would like to know how effective this test is, try this with your sharpest knife. See what happens and make a comment. I'd like to know how it went. The difficulty here is biting into this very fluffy edge. And once this blade bites in, it cuts. It continues the cut consistently and cleanly. This is probably one of the top 10 edges out of the box that I have ever seen. If your sharpest knife could not do this, try it with a paper towel still attached to the roll. That makes it a little easier. We'll take a look at the edge under the microscope and do some additional cutting tests. After we weigh it, the weight is 100 grams or 35.5 ounces. That makes it much more substantial than an inexpensive, steak knife from a cheap set, which weighs 55 grams or just under 2 ounces. And what about comparing it to a hunting knife? This is Benchmade Raghorn that I've been using in the kitchen for a couple of years now as a main sort of chef's knife. It's considered to be actually lightweight at about 4 ounces. And so Microtech has about the same blade length to weight ratio of roughly 1 ounce per 1 inch of blade length. And so Raghorn with just over 4 inches blade length has roughly the same ratio, which is considered to be a golden standard for an easily portable fixed blade knife. And so let's take the blade thickness measurements. The stock is, let me set the 0 here real quick. And the stock is 115 thousandths of an inch, 2.9 millimeter, and it tapers down toward the front. For a knife to be very slicey, it has to have somewhere around 10 to 15 thousandths behind the edge thickness, and this one comes right around 12 to 13 thousandths of an inch. For comparison, the blade stock on the cheap kitchen knife is less than half than that on the Microtech, and you are getting unknown steel versus this chunk of M390, which is a premium stainless blade steel. Now let's take a look at the Benchmade. That's S30V steel, their go-to steel on many occasions. And it's actually a little thinner, measuring 90 to 100 thousandths of an inch. Let's see Microtech's edge under the microscope, starting with the tip, which is quite well formed, just a little round off at the very tip. It's probably due to honing or stropping. As you can see, it's not a mirror polish by far. It's a pretty toothy edge, which is kind of ideal for the intended use of this knife, cutting stuff in the kitchen. And here I see all the evidence of hand-formed edge or secondary bevel. There's convexity, there is a little bit of an angle variation from tip to hilt, but all in all, there is no burr. As you can see, the edge is clean of burr, very well-formed apex. I would give it at least 8 out of 10 score. This little handheld microscope I'm using is an excellent tool, by the way, when you sharpen your knife to check your own work, because some of the details that you don't see with the naked eye are clear on your device skin. You just plug it into any handheld or tablet and you see what you see. The links I provide for the tools that I frequently use are benefiting my channel, but they also help you build sort of an arsenal of tools that will serve you for years to come in pursuing this knife hobby. And right now, I would appreciate if you gently and quietly tapped the like button. We don't want to break my concentration, but if you got that far in the video, you must like it, so please do. Here you go. So it's split it into the eighth, and this is a good time to stop and prepare for the hardness test. This segment is accelerated 2x for your time's sake. I'm showing you that I'm using a certified serialized calibration block. It is rated at 62 HRC. That's what we're looking to get on this first test. and the block is certified by an independent company other than the manufacturer of the block itself to the NIST standards. And we're getting 62.4, so we're slightly over. So that you know, the guiding spec for Rockwell testing, ASTM18, allows plus or minus 1 HRC error with repeatability not to exceed plus or minus 0.5. 62.2 this time, and so let's do it one more time just to be absolutely sure. Because the block is independently certified, it costs quite a bit more. It's about 150, 160 bucks, and it will not last forever. And that is because I have to space the pokes 3 millimeters apart, and there's only so much space. We got 62.5, so I'm within the repeatability error allowance. Now I'm ready to proceed to the blade. I would like to thank my viewers for hitting like, subscribing to my channel. Those of you who purchase super things, I really am humbled by this and excited. Those who joined my channel as members, thank you very much. I am here for you, and I appreciate you being there for me. We got 60.5. So what does it mean to the end user? M390 steel, or its version here called M390MK, proprietary to Microtech. Typically, it's used where extreme corrosion resistance combined with decent toughness and edge retention are required. What did we get here? 60.5 again. Where was I? So I already mentioned the corrosion resistance, plus it has mid to high range toughness and hardness, and that makes it a perfect blade steel for the kitchen knives. This steel is made in Austria by Bola Stahlwerke, and it is equivalent to US-made steel called CPM S20V. The recommended hardness range for the steel is 58 to 62 HRC, and this blade sits smack in the middle at 60 to 60.5 Rockwell. Before I wrap up, I would like to circle back to the topic I touched upon in the beginning. So if you are one of my tactically inclined viewers, I see absolutely nothing in the design and build of this knife that would preclude you from using it in EDC, camping, almost survival, bushcrafting, and tactical roles. It has the blade length, the edge geometry, the flexibility of the steel, and even the hardness that would totally enable you to use it in these roles. And here's an example of something like this.
The Tops El Pionero is now here. Here it is. It is basically a modified tactical paring knife is kind of the best way to think about this. It was designed by a guy named Ed Calderon, who has a lot of experience and a long career of working against the Mexican drug cartels. And this is based on a knife he modified for concealed use in said scenario.
If you're interested in a video showing how to make a very simple, very inexpensive Kydex sheath for such a knife so that you can carry it on your belt or attached to your backpack, let me know in the comments. If you're here for some help in making the purchasing decision, I think it would make an absolutely excellent gift item for your household chef or even for a professional chef. And it will definitely take your kitchen knife game up a couple of notches. I will not be providing an affiliate link to this knife because I am not affiliated with knife makers or knife retailers. That helps me keep my reviews independent and free of fluff. But I do provide links to the tools that I use basically daily. Also, I use income from any affiliate links that I provide to buy new tools for the channel trade. So I appreciate you checking them out in the description. Wait, don't go anywhere. While I'm reassembling the knife, I would like to share this thought about one thing that I don't like about it. I don't like the use of socket head screws. They're T15. And here's why. These screws will become a repository of dirt. All kinds of crud from basic food prep will accumulate in the recesses where the screws are located and in the sockets on the screw heads. And those sockets and recesses will be very hard to clean. And because the scales are not epoxied to the steel, the dirt, the nasty stuff, will be getting under those scales sooner or later. And so I understand the Microtech's desire to not make it look too much as a kitchen knife, but there is definitely wisdom behind centuries-old tradition of attaching kitchen knife scales to the handle using pins that are then ground flush with the surface of the handle. And by the way, the screws came in very severely torqued from the factory, and I don't think everyone would be able to remove them without certain degree of mechanical skill. For example, I had to use a spring-loaded center punch in order to break the tension on the threads. And so here's the opportunity for Microtech to tech it up a little bit and come up with a cleverer way of attaching and removing the scales. Because nobody got no time for this. Just imagine a chef at a busy restaurant having to do this every time he wants to sanitize a knife.